All right, time for a bit of an update. It has been just over a month since I had the surgery, and like recovering or healing for most things, it's been very up and down. Right now, we're in a down moment, at least I am in a down moment with my recovery. But before I get into details about that, I just wanted to be known that the doctor is still very pleased with how I'm healing. He's still very hopeful that this will be a successful transplant. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing everything right. His words, I'm doing great. So that is reassuring. And I try to remember that in moments like this when things feel a little bleak, if I'm honest. So 2 weeks ago, I went in for a checkup. I have a checkup almost every week. And at that point, the doctor noticed that some of the stitches were loose. And so he said, come back and he said, we'll check this again in 2 weeks and see where everything's at, but they might have to be replaced. But at that point, he thought they would just settle themselves because as healing progresses and as the cornea starts to settle, it can move and shift. And so that could be the reason for the loosening. And sometimes it'll just tighten itself back up. But in this case, it didn't. It still remained loose, and then another stitch actually popped. So I had to get them removed and then replaced, but this happened in his office. So that meant I did it without any drugs for my anxiety, without any of the glorious hospital freezing. It was just like a local freezing with an eye drop, and I had to lie there and on pain-wise, it wasn't really painful. There were some moments where I could feel it and felt not great, but for the most part, the pain was manageable. It was the mental for me because I had to be very alert and aware of what was going on to me and also keep myself very, very still because if I moved, well, my doctor had this very razor sharp tweezers by my eyes, like obviously no go. So that part was really exhausting, and I was talking to Aaron after it happened, and I hit a wall. I hit a recovery wall, and I just still hitting that wall, where I'm just exhausted. Like I'm mentally exhausted from having to be patient and trust the process and be resilient and be kind to myself, and exhausted with having to be hyper focused on my eyes, always making sure I'm not doing anything that can put them in harm's way, worrying when I sleep that I'm gonna do something while I'm sleeping, and just like I'm exhausted. I'm just so done and a little, angry. I don't know if angry is the right word. The thing about it is, day in and day out, more so than anything, the emotions I feel are fear and scared. I'm scared and fearful all the time, and that is taking its toll. It's very exhausting to feel that way all the time. So anyway, I went back yesterday to check the stitches that were replaced last week, and they've come loose again. So again, we're gonna wait another 2 weeks to see if they settle themselves, but more likely than not, I'm going to have to go in again and have the same thing done, have them replaced, removed and replaced, and I just, I'm not, ugh. So after last week, I asked my doctor, I said, do you think this is something that we're gonna have to deal with again? And he said that likely not, any of the stitches that are gonna come loose would have done so by this point, and so we should be good. So I don't know what's going on or why it's happening, but after I left there last week, I was just like, never again. I cannot do that again. So now that I have to do it again, I'm like, I can't even mentally psych myself up for it because it's fucking awful. I hated it. So that's gonna happen again, and that's gonna suck. So I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just very emotionally exhausted right now, and I would be normally at this time of year anyway, because September, October, November is a very emotionally trying time for me because there are a lot of, milestones, I don't know what you call them, that come up around this time of year that cause a lot of self-reflecting and life evaluating. So when you throw this situation on top of it, I think that's also what's making me get to a point of just like, nah. So the things that I usually am looking at around this time of year is that I'm remembering when I was really sick 10 years ago. It would have been 10 years ago this September. I was really sick. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. I almost died. I had to have emergency lung surgery, and that experience was very pivotal for me. One, when your life is threatened in that way, it has a profound effect on you mentally and emotionally. But that situation was the catalyst for me leaving Winnipeg and moving to BC. And this September, I hit my 10-year mark of living in BC, which is something that I have been looking forward to for so long, because I think in the back of my mind, there was a part of me that just wanted to make it to that number, because to me, that would be proof that I did it. I moved somewhere else. I started over. I had created a new life and a new family, and not in replace of the other ones, but you know what I mean? Just I did something on my own and I succeeded at it. And you know, looking back now, it's crazy to me that I did do exactly that. Like, I was afraid I wasn't gonna make it 6 months when I left Winnipeg. I was just trying to make it to like a year, because I thought, make it to a year so you won't be embarrassed when you have to go back home. And here we are 10 years later, and it's just like, it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild. And I didn't even get to, you know, celebrate and really honor that huge milestone because of recovery. I was not in a very good space, and I just kind of just slipped right past me. And then, you know, we're soon coming up on also the 10-year anniversary of my dad's passing, and that, you know, is always hard. Dealing with the loss of a parent, you know, the grief that comes with is not something that is, there's no end date to that. There's no marker you're trying to get to where it's like, okay, now we've processed and accepted it and it's over. Like, this is something that I'll be doing for the rest of my life. It is hard to articulate to people who've never experienced it, just how difficult and what mindfuck it is to lose a parent. But so that comes up. So those three things always come up every year, and as you can imagine, they will be, you know, mentally and emotionally exhausting, draining. And so I have that, and then recovery, and I just feel like I am so very close to losing my fucking mind. But thankfully, I have good distractions. I have things that are a distraction, but there are also things that really feed like my soul and my purpose. I have work, which is like the brightest spot of my week usually, except for Wednesdays when I go and see Jameson, my nephew. Those are my favorite days, where I get to hang out with T and Jameson and Ed at least once a week. I know that's gonna happen. So that is something that I look forward to, and that's something that is also a very good distraction. Is that mommy's clothes?
I'm sharing your closet.
Is it too loud for you? Was your screaming too loud? Oh, you got that one. Oh.
Cause we all get lost sometimes, you know.
Right.
It's how we learn, it's how we grow. I wanna lay with you till I'm old. I wanna lay with you till I'm old. You shouldn't be fighting on your own. And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over some cold water for you. And although time may take us into different places, I'll still be patient with you. And I hope you know.
Oh, it's not time for bed yet. You have to have your bottle. And stories? Okay. Who's here? Is that Auntie Erin? Are we going downstairs? And I'm also happy that I was able to go back to work. I love my apartment, I love my downtime, I love my one-on-one time with my coach and with Netflix, but after 2 weeks of it, like, your girl had enough. So going back to work it's been so good. Why you run away from me, best friend?
You're a monster. Turn into a monster.
But I want to be your best friend.
No, turn into a monster.
But I just want to be your best friend. Hit yourself in the face. Azalea, you better watch out before he gets you. Pull, man, pull! Good plan. Did you hit yourself in the chin? I don't want your shoe. Alright, they're mine now. Put them on. Anyway, I just wanted to update on what's going on. I mean, you can see the eye looks normal, you know, which is good. I don't have to be self-conscious of like it looking drastically different than my other eye. There are moments where it's still very uncomfortable, but for the most part, I'm okay. At least physically, I'm not in a lot of pain anymore, discomfort. It's just like I said, right now it's the mental of having to be so focused on my eye. Like, I'm so sick of being the eye guy. I love everyone in my life, and I love how worried everyone is for me. And I love that everyone wants to check on me, but there are some days when I've been asked about my eye for the 17th time where I'm just like, please, unless I tell you something's wrong, let's just move past this eyeball thing, because I can't be the eye guy today. I just want to be Annie again. Like, I just want to be myself. But I've been the eye guy for some years now, because this has been going on consistently for a few years with very little break in between. So I understand why this is at the forefront of people's minds. So I'm lucky that I have people checking up on me and people who are worried about me. So I'm not gonna slap that blessing in the face. But some days I'm just tired, y'all, and I've had enough. But yeah, we are here, a month in, several more months to go. But all in all, we're doing great, sweetie. Whoever is watching this, thank you for watching. I hope this squelched any curiosity about how I'm doing and where things are at. And I can't speak anymore, I gotta go. Anyway, I love you. I hope you are having a day that is good, and I will talk to you when I talk to you. Okay, goodbye.